Hi y'all, welcome back to my channel. I'm Robin and today we are going to be talking about the worst books I read or my most disappointing reads of 2021. That does not mean that they were necessarily the worst. Also, these are all my own opinions and this is not meant to offend anyone. I just did not enjoy these. So let's just dive right into them. So I read this book at the very beginning of the year, and I had read her other two books and I really enjoyed them. I Didn't See This Coming by Rachel Hollis. I did not like at all, in the least. I did not see that coming. This book comes on the heels of Rachel Hollis getting a divorce from her husband, and you think that it's going to be about that and how she copes with that and, you know, like grief-ish stuff. But nope. It's just recycled stories from her two other books. It's also her patting herself on the back for being a decent human being. It's like, girl, these are just things that you're supposed to be doing. But I did not have a good time. The next book that I did not enjoy was The Vegetarian by Han Kang. I really wanted to get into it, but it was just so weird that I could not. I ended up DNFing it. This is about a woman who chooses to become a vegetarian, not because of like dietary reasons or moral reasons. She just starts having these dreams about like meat, and then she's like, I'm not eating meat anymore. I'm only gonna eat vegetables, and it's a vegetarian. And then like she starts to waste away. And I think in like the rest of the book, it follows two other people in her family that like are affected by this. I don't know. I didn't read it, so I don't care. But it was weird. There's a lot of talk about nipples, and I was just like, I'm not smart enough to understand the significance of nipples in this book, so I had to let it go. Another disappointment of mine was The Bride Test by Helen Huang. This is about Esme and Kai. And Esme comes from Vietnam, I think, to marry Kai. He doesn't know that. His mom like is setting all of this up. And so Esme is just trying to get Kai to like fall in love with her and love her so that they can get married. And but Kai is autistic and he doesn't think that like he's capable of love. And so you have those two things. There was a lot of miscommunication happening. Like, not like I love him, but I can't tell him that I love him type of miscommunication. It was like basic miscommunication, language barrier miscommunication. Like if somebody had just said, hey, what does this word mean? Like problems would have been solved. Also, there was this secret that Esme was keeping throughout the whole book until like the very end, and somebody found out the secret and they were like, oh, okay. And then once Kai found out the secret, he was also like, okay. But had I found out the secret, I would have been pissed. I would have been livid, because this is not the type of secret that you keep from people. It's a major thing. And the whole time I was just like, we're not gonna bring this up. We're just gonna talk about everything else except for this thing that's happening, that exists. And I'm just like, come on guys, come on, come on. It irritated me the whole entire book and I could not let it go. I didn't like rate it, like it wasn't like a 1-star or 2-star. It was okay, but it was not what I was hoping it would be. I had such high hopes for it. So, The Bride Test. I am going to read The Heart Principle though, because I have hopes for it. I was going to say high hopes, but maybe I should just keep those hopes kind of low. I just have hopes. The next disappointing book I read is not one, but two. If you've been here any length of time, you know. King of Scars, Rule of Wolves by Leigh Bardugo. I had such high hopes for these. They were first like said as the Nikolai duology, and then it was not. It was Zoya's biography, and while I don't mind that, because I really like Zoya, that's not what I came here for. I came here for Nikolai, and I got everything but that. King of Scars was a mess. It was a mess. There were plot twists in here that didn't make any kind of sense. There were people in here that I did not care about. Why were they there? What was the reason? What was the reason? I'll never know. And then we have Rule of Wolves, which is a little bit better than King of Scars, but not by much. People came back into the series that didn't need to be here. People turned into things that didn't make any kind of fucking sense. There was a whole side plot that I still have questions about. I still have questions. No. If you've read this, message me. I need to talk about this. Probably the biggest disappointment of 2021 for me. The biggest. What did I read? And why did I read that? Why was it made? Let's start there. Why was that made? Riddle me that. And then last but certainly not least, actually, I don't know. It's a real toss-up between King of Scars and this book. But Ace of Spades by Farida Abike here. This was pitched to us as Gossip Girl meets Get Out, and I never want to hear anything pitched as Get Out ever again. I don't even think I want to read anything or watch anything that is close to anything like Get Out. Just like for a while. I need a break. But this is about two students, Devon and Chiamaka. They are both black students at this all-white high school. And then I think like their senior year, they start getting these texts that are going to expose them from someone called Aces. Now, that is the only comparison to Gossip Girl that there could be, is that there are text messages. But there was nothing else like Gossip Girl. That was my first annoyance, because as a true Gossip Girl lover, like my dog is named after Blair Waldorf. Okay, that's how much I love Gossip Girl. But there was nothing else besides a text message that was comparable to Gossip Girl. I would say this was more like Pretty Little Liars meets Get Out, if you want to make it some kind of comparison, but Gossip Girl, it is not. Anyway, that rant over. You're following these two students, and they're the only black students. Things get terrible for them. It goes from like bad to like really fucking terrible. And I was gonna say before it gets better, and then I'm like, I don't know that it really ever got better. But things keep happening to them, and parts of their lives keep getting exposed. You find out that Devon is he's a poor black student who lives in the ghetto, and he is closeted, and people are like making fun of him and just harassing him for being gay. So Devon has it terrible. Chiamaka is a biracial black girl whose parents are like rich, and she's supposed to be the queen bee. She is not. She's just somebody who happened to be popular. They're trying to figure out who Aces is and why they are being targeted. Now, let me tell you where this book didn't make sense. Let me tell you where. They're the only two black students in the whole school. The whole school. Not like their grade, not like just the seniors and there's only two black kids, but there are other black kids in the other grades. No. In the whole entire school. Now, you mean to tell me that their parents weren't like, this is odd. Odd. Not a single other black person. In 10 years. Because this happens like every 10 years. Also, another odd thing. Like, nobody looked into other black students that potentially went to this school? No? None of them? Great. And then Chiamaka was getting on my goddamn nerves because she just kept trusting people who didn't deserve to be trusted. And I was just like, girl, why? Why are you doing this? You just keep blindly trusting people. Nothing said, hey, you can trust me. You're just like, you know what? Person, I'm gonna trust them. Devon was like, no, don't do that. But did she listen to Devon? No, because she was doing whatever she wanted to. And you know why my battery probably died? Because it was probably tired of me talking about this fucking shit too. I saw it highly praised everywhere, and it didn't do it for me. Also, when I read Ace of Spades, it was at the beginning of what would become a larger problem of like horror thrillers where the horrible, terrible thing was racism. And while that is actually true in real life, that just wasn't what I was looking for or expecting necessarily. And it was a lot. It was a lot. There was a point in the book where I was like, is Chiamaka in on this? Is she Candace Owens? It just came to me. I was not sure. It was a feeling I had, okay? And then, but yes, Ace of Spades, definitely. And I was really excited about reading it. And it disappointed me so spectacularly that by the time I got to the end, I was just like, I can't. The ending was rushed through just so that we could get to something like this big boom explosion. It was like, oh, nope, this was not the ending that I was expecting or needing. Yeah. So those are my worst and most disappointing books of 2021. There weren't a ton of them. I actually had a very good reading year. I really enjoyed a lot of what I read. These particular books may not have been like 1 or 2 stars. Some of them were DNFs, but some of them just were not giving what I thought they were supposed to give, okay? And if you enjoyed them, good for you. I'm happy for you. But they were not hitting for me, and that's that. Did you enjoy any of these books that I didn't? If so, why? I really want to know why. I'm just curious. What book did you not like this year? Like, what was your worst or most disappointing book this year? Let me know down in the comments. Let's talk about it. And until next time, bye.